All right, so you're introduced to R. That's what we did on the first lab video. And I promised, we ended here, and I promised you I'd help you get started and access our course environment, our lab environment. And I said I was going to do it in a step-by-step kind of way. And I created a new email account for myself such that I will show you what will happen to you who most likely do not have an RStudio Cloud account, how to get there and how to set it up. All right, so let's do it. Let me get out of PowerPoint. Now we're in the Canvas page. I presented to you in the welcome video in the announcement. You go to the week of that is relevant. In this case, the week August 24th to August 28th. Click here, go all the way down, and we're going to find the link to the lab in RStudio Cloud. So if we copy this link to our browser, it will take you to a page that looks like this, and you will have to set up an account for you. If you have a Google account, you can just click here and say log in with Google. If you do not have a Google account, you would have to type your email and password here. So because mine is a Google account, I'll just come here and I will use this particular account that I created. I'll type the password and I'll hit next. Sorry for the Portuguese. And once you do that, you will see our class page, the Graduate Statistics map. You should be right there. And then if you click on Lab 1, Intro to R, and every week there will be a different lab, right? If you go in there, you see that it takes a little bit when you first launch it. So you have to wait for a bit. Don't think there's something wrong. So that's why I'm not even going to pause the video. It will be so that you have a sense of how long it can take. There's nothing wrong. And the project will open right there. And then we have the R interface, the RStudio interface, that if you had installed it on your own laptop, that's exactly what you would see, okay, when you open RStudio. The only difference is that if you opened on your laptop, you wouldn't have the little web link here. All right, so let's get started. On this panel here, we'll discuss what all the panels are in a little bit, but the first thing I want to introduce you to is the R Markdown document, which is an interactive document with which I will guide you through the different activities. So note here that mapping what you saw in on Canvas, you have two activities that you have to do, guided activity 1A and guided activity 1B, and you have links for submission of these two activities there. All right, and I also promised you that you would have a key to the activity that you are doing if it's a guided activity, such that if you get stuck, you can go there and check. Awesome. You don't see a key to guided activity 1A because there are no exercises there. It's just an activity to introduce you to the interactive document I will use to guide you through the labs. So let's start there. So here there'll be an introduction to R and RStudio, and in this case it's R Markdown documents. Kind of tells you what the lab is, kind of a title for the lab. You'll always see that. And then this is our workshop 1, where I'm trying to introduce you to R. So the goal of this lab is to introduce you to R and RStudio, which you will be using throughout the course, both to learn the statistical concepts discussed in the course and to analyze real data and come to informed conclusions. To straighten out which is which, R is the name of the programming language itself, as I said on the previous lab, and RStudio lab video, and RStudio is a convenience interface. You'll see very soon that this time around I'm with you and I'm reading through things with you, but really, you can do this alone from second week on because everything will be explained there that you need to know. All right, but this time, let's go through it together. R Markdown. This is the R Markdown interactive document. It is a file format for making dynamic documents with R. An R Markdown document is written in Markdown, an easy to write plain text format, and contains chunks of embedded R code within it, right? So you don't have to type code in a different place. Everything will be contained in this little document here, like you see below, R Markdown files are designed to be used with the R Markdown package. And that comes installed with RStudio, and I have installed it for this project so you don't have to worry about that. So in the future, once you install RStudio successfully, you should be good. I will use these to present the data analysis tool to you, and you will use it to perform the independent activities and guided activities on all the other labs. It is nice because it is an interactive document, and I can embed code into it. You can run the code from the document and the output appears within it. You'll see it's really cool, all contained in one place. So new notebooks can be opened if you click File, New, and R Markdown. That's how you open it, right? So I'm telling you this here. The one downside, I'm here. The one downside of R Markdown for beginners, which will not matter for you in this course, is that formatting the text is not as easy as it is in Word, for instance. You have to use tricks that are not always straightforward. For example, you may have wondered why in the heck I placed the line, File, New File, Notebook with 2 stars, 2 asterisks around it. And this is how I tell R that I want a line to be in bold. Some more useful ones to know. Italics, I have to do this underscore, like surround the text. I want in italics and underscores. To do the headers, header 1, header 2, header 3, you have to do these cross thing, hash marks. To create an ordered list, this is how you do. If you want to block quote some text, you have to use this little symbol here. And you can write mathematical equations, such as this one. And I know the syntax for this may seem daunting at first, and again, isn't required for this course, but just want to show you some of the things you can do if you decide to learn more about R Markdown. Might be useful to get familiar with superscript syntax, subscript, because it can happen on the labs, and mathematical symbols like alpha, chi, and sum. Although you can do subscripts like this in line as well. I suppose fractions are useful too. So you say fraction, and you put the little mark first, and then you say what you want in the numerator, what you want in the denominator, and then you get something like this. And if you're curious, an expanded list can be found here. If you click, it will kind of explain to you. But again, I don't want you to worry too much about formatting. I will do the formatting, and you will just have to read the document. I'm not going to ask you to produce documents with adequate formatting or with sophisticated formatting or nothing like that. You will always receive templates to do your activities. I just wanted to present to you why sometimes you see these funny marks. What I really want you to learn to do here, which will be really relevant for handing in the activities that you do in labs, is to knit and convert the documents. You might be wondering why all the formatting, oh man, there will be some typos. Why all the formatting if you cannot appreciate the effect? So you're just seeing these stars and stuff and you're not seeing it like a cool bolded text. While you cannot see the effects here, you can see it once you knit the document and convert to a different format, PDF, HTML, or doc format. So knit, to knit, you run this function, knitr, will run each chunk of R code in the document and append the results of the code to the document next to the code chunk. So when you do these little asterisks and other things like that, it's kind of a piece of code that needs to be read by R to generate the document for you that's in doc format or PDF that you can then submit. And in that document, you will be able to see all the formatting. So this is the only thing I want you to learn with this lab. I'm reading through this and I'm going a little bit fast, but again, you can go back to it, read at your own pace, and for every lab, that's what will happen. But this is the only thing you need to do in this lab. Figure out how to knit and transform this document in a Word document. So let's do that. Click here. You should see the options, and I want you to knit to Word. So if you do this, a Word document will be created, and it will typically come with this little window afterwards, and then you can say, oh yes, I want to download the file, and you can download to your computer. And if you open it up, when you click on it, you should open it up, and then you see all the beautiful formatting, right? So when I put it in bold, it appears in bold here. So whatever I did, so the italic symbol became this, so the tricks I used disappear, and you just see the formatting, right? So this particular document that you will knit, this is the thing you need to submit for Lab 1A. So all you need to do is save this document to your computer. Maybe you can create a stats folder, Lab 1, put it in there. And this is your guided activity 1A. Save to the desktop or to a folder that makes sense to you, and then you can use that document to submit in Canvas. So that's your 1A activity. So you don't really have to do much except learn how to knit the document and to download it to your computer and make sure you have it to be submitted. Okay? Deal? So that's all you need to do. So this is the end of our guided activity 1A. We'll go through guided activity 1B in a little bit, in another video. Bye-bye.